With rising prices continuing to squeeze American households, many are searching for answers about the newly discussed $600 inflation relief payments. Could another round of direct checks be coming? And if so, who will qualify and when can people actually expect to receive them? These relief payments are being talked about as a way to help seniors, families, and individuals struggling with the high cost of groceries, gas, rent, and everyday essentials. In today's update, we'll cover everything you need to know about this possible $600 benefit, including the states and programs currently considering it, the eligibility requirements, and the expected payment dates. We'll also explain how this update could affect people on Social Security, SSI, SSDI, and fixed incomes, since many are wondering if they will be included. Stay with us as we break down the latest news, timelines, and official updates so you can understand exactly what's happening and whether you may see a $600 check in your mailbox or bank account. Before we dive deep into these life-changing payments, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. Let's start with the question that's probably burning in your mind right now. Am I eligible for this money? Well, that's exactly what we're going to cover today, along with when you can expect these payments to hit your bank account. And don't worry if you're feeling confused about the whole process. I'm going to break everything down in simple terms that anyone can understand. It's fascinating how many people I've talked to who had no idea they qualified for these payments. Just last week, I received a message from Sarah, one of our community members, who was absolutely thrilled when she discovered she was eligible. She used the money to catch up on her utility bills that had been piling up due to inflation. Stories like these are exactly why I'm so passionate about sharing this information with you all. Now, let's talk about why these payments even exist in the first place. We've all felt the sting of inflation lately, haven't we? From grocery prices that make you do a double take to gas prices that have you reconsidering every car trip, inflation has been hitting everyone hard. That's precisely why several states have stepped up to provide these relief payments to their residents. But here's the thing. The eligibility requirements and payment amounts can vary significantly depending on where you live. You might be wondering, why $600 specifically? Well, this amount wasn't just pulled out of thin air. State governments carefully calculated this figure based on average household expenses and the impact of inflation on daily living costs. For many families, $600 can cover a month's worth of groceries or help catch up on that electricity bill that's been causing stress. Let's dive into the qualification requirements, and I promise to make this as clear as possible. The first thing you need to know is that these payments are primarily based on your income level and tax filing status. Most states are focusing on helping low to middle-income residents who've been hit hardest by inflation. But don't click away if you think you make too much. The income thresholds might be higher than you expect. For single filers, the income limits typically range from $75,000 to $100,000 per year, depending on your state. If you file jointly with your spouse, that threshold usually increases to somewhere between $150,000 and $200,000. But here's something crucial that many people overlook. These numbers are based on your adjusted gross income, not your total earnings. That means you might still qualify even if your raw salary is higher than these limits. Now, I can already hear some of you asking, what if I didn't file taxes last year? Don't worry. In many cases, there are alternative ways to qualify. Some states are automatically sending payments to residents who received certain state benefits during the qualifying period. This includes programs like SNAP benefits, SSI, or state disability payments. The key is to make sure your current address is up to date with these agencies. Here's something that might surprise you. Some states are also considering factors beyond just income. For example, some are providing additional amounts for households with dependents. Others are giving extra consideration to essential workers who kept our communities running during the toughest times. It's worth checking if your state has any of these special provisions. Let's talk timing because I know that's probably your next big question. When can you expect to see this money? Well, the rollout schedule varies by state, but most payments are being distributed between now and the end of the year. Some states are doing it alphabetically by last name, while others are basing it on the last digits of your Social Security number. But here's a pro tip that not many people know about. If you've moved recently or changed banks, you'll want to update your information with your state's revenue department as soon as possible. This simple step could save you weeks or even months of waiting for a redirected payment. Trust me, I've heard too many stories of checks being sent to old addresses or deposits being rejected because of closed bank accounts. Speaking of payment methods, most states are offering either direct deposit or physical checks. Direct deposit is usually faster, but don't worry if you're getting a paper check. They're all being sent out through secure methods. Just keep an eye on your mailbox and don't throw away any official-looking envelopes without checking them carefully first. Now, let's address something that's causing a lot of confusion: taxes. Many viewers have been asking me, will I have to pay taxes on this relief payment? The good news is that in most cases, these payments are not considered taxable income at the federal level. However, I always recommend consulting with a tax professional about your specific situation, as state tax treatment can vary. Here's another important detail that often gets overlooked: these payments won't affect your eligibility for other benefits you might be receiving. This means you don't have to worry about losing SNAP benefits, Medicaid, or other assistance programs just because you receive this inflation relief payment. The states have specifically designed these programs to provide additional help, not create new problems. Let me share another story from our community. John, a retired teacher from California, was initially skeptical about these payments. He thought it was another scam when he heard about it. But after checking the official state website and verifying the information, he not only received his payment, but also helped 3 of his neighbors apply for theirs. This is exactly why I'm making this video, to help real people access real help that's available to them. Now, I want to address something that might be worrying some of you. What if you haven't received any notification about these payments? First, don't panic. The distribution process is happening in phases, and some people might not receive their payments until later in the year. However, there are steps you can take to check your status and ensure you don't miss out. Most states have set up dedicated websites or hotlines where you can check your eligibility and payment status. I'll put links to these resources in the description below. But be careful. There are unfortunately some scammers trying to take advantage of this situation. Always make sure you're using official state websites and never give out personal information to unsolicited calls or emails claiming to be about these payments. Let's talk about some common misconceptions that I've been seeing in the comments. First, these payments are not part of the federal stimulus checks we saw during the pandemic. These are state-specific programs designed to address current inflation challenges. Second, receiving other forms of government assistance doesn't automatically disqualify you. In fact, it might make you more likely to qualify in some states. Here's something interesting that many people don't realize. Some states are offering these payments in multiple rounds. This means that even if you've already received a payment earlier this year, you might be eligible for additional relief in the coming months. It's worth keeping an eye on your state's announcements and checking their relief payment website regularly for updates. I want to share some practical advice about what to do once you receive your payment. While it might be tempting to spend it immediately, take a moment to assess your most pressing financial needs. Could this money help you catch up on essential bills? Could it go toward building an emergency fund? Or maybe it could help you stock up on non-perishable groceries while prices are reasonable. Think strategically about how to make this money work best for your situation. Let me tell you about Maria, another viewer who shared her strategy. She split her relief payment into 3 parts: one for immediate bills, one for stocking up on household essentials while they were on sale, and one for her emergency fund. This kind of thoughtful planning can help stretch these dollars even further. Now, what if you find out you're not eligible for these payments? Don't lose hope. There are other forms of assistance available. Many states and local communities offer additional support programs, from utility assistance to food banks to rental help. The key is knowing where to look and understanding what's available in your area. If you're interested in learning more about these alternatives, let me know in the comments, and I might make a dedicated video about other assistance programs. Here's something crucial that I want everyone to understand. These inflation relief payments are not charity. They're meant to help stabilize our communities and support hardworking people who are dealing with circumstances beyond their control. There's no shame in accepting this assistance if you qualify. In fact, using these payments as intended helps stimulate local economies and benefits everyone in the long run. Let's talk about some practical steps you can take right now. First, visit your state's official website to check your eligibility status. Second, make sure all your contact and banking information is up to date with state agencies. Third, gather any documentation you might need to verify your identity or income if required. Being prepared can help speed up the process significantly. I've noticed some viewers asking about what happens if they live in multiple states during the year. This is a great question, and the answer typically depends on where you filed your taxes or where you lived for the majority of the qualifying period. If this applies to you, you'll want to check the specific requirements for each state where you resided. Here's an important reminder. If you need to take any action to claim your payment, don't delay. Many states have deadlines for applications or information updates. Missing these deadlines could mean missing out on your payment entirely. Set a reminder on your phone or mark your calendar to make sure you don't forget any important dates. Let's address another common concern. What if you made a mistake on your application or need to update your information? Most states have processes in place for corrections and updates. The key is to act quickly and follow the official procedures. Don't try to submit multiple applications, as this could actually delay your payment or create other complications. I want to share something personal here. Seeing how these payments have helped members of our community has been incredibly rewarding. I want to share something personal here. Seeing how these payments have helped members of our community has been incredibly rewarding. Equals from single parents able to buy school supplies for their kids to seniors managing their medication costs. These relief payments are making a real difference in people's lives. That's why I'm so passionate about making sure everyone who qualifies knows about this opportunity. Now, looking ahead, there's a possibility that we might see similar programs in the future if inflation continues to be a challenge. That's why it's important to stay informed and connected to reliable sources of information. Following your state's official social media accounts and signing up for email updates can help you stay in the loop about future assistance programs. Before we wrap up, let me share some final tips for success. Keep all documentation related to your payment, including any confirmation numbers or letters you receive. This information might be important for your records or if any questions arise later. Also, if you receive a paper check, make sure to deposit it promptly. Most states put expiration dates on these checks. There you have it, friends. Everything you need to know about the $600 inflation relief payments. Remember, knowledge is power, and sharing this information could help someone in your circle who's struggling right now. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on future financial relief programs and money-saving tips. Have you already received your payment? Are you still waiting? Share your experience in the comments below. Your story might help others in our community understand what to expect. And if you found this information helpful, please share this video with your friends and family. Sometimes, a simple share can make a huge difference in someone's life. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll tackle more ways to make your money work harder for you during these challenging times. Stay safe, stay informed, and remember, we're all in this together.